Well, let's bring in Terry Austin, attorney and adjunct professor at the University of Southern California, and Matthew LaRosiere, constitutional lawyer and writer for Young Voices. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Our hearts go out to that mother. She made it clear she wants no more prayers. But Terry, let's start with you. The gun control debate needs prayers and more. Both sides are so divided, and the mass shootings just keep happening.
I completely understand that mother's pain, her anguish, and yes, thoughts and prayers are good to have, but gun control is absolutely needed and can easily make a difference in the number of mass shootings and the number of deaths in the United States.
Well, Matthew, let's go to you. Is taking guns away the answer here? I mean, we talk about gun controls. Many people think that taking away guns is what you really mean by gun control.
Well, we've never seen any actual tangible effects that any gun control policy has had on actual violent crime. In fact, I wrote a study on high-capacity magazine restrictions, which has been the focus of this particular shooting. And when we had nationwide an effective ban on high-capacity magazines, there was no impact on lethality. And this, despite tireless efforts to find some impact, the supporters of the bill could not find it, and that's one of the main reasons why the assault weapon ban never went through again. What we do see, though, when we have stricter gun laws into effect, is more people who overwhelmingly have no other criminal history becoming felons and having their lives torn apart due to a law with really no victim.
But Terry, I mean, we have to start somewhere. I mean, in the case of this gunman, he had an illegal attachment to his gun that allowed him to fire more rounds faster. I mean, we've got to at least start there, right?
Absolutely. I think banning not only automatic weapons, but also bump stocks and these magazines that allow you to shoot more bullets at the same time has to stop. It has to be banned. And with all due respect, when we did have the law from 1994 to 2004, there was a decrease in the number of mass shootings and the number of deaths from mass shootings. And there was a 183% increase once the federal law was no longer instituted. So you are hearing people calling for a banning of these automatic weapons and a ban of these bump stocks and magazines that make it easier to kill so many people at the same time. There's just no Second Amendment right that says you have to have these automatic weapons. Clearly, gun owners can have guns for hunting and guns for protecting their homes, but the last time I checked, there were no militia coming to homes, and single handguns, which are licensed and permitted, and background checks. If that happens, you will see a decrease in the number of deaths from mass shootings.
So what's President Trump's responsibility in all this? I mean, his administration's been largely silent on gun control except to uphold our right to bear arms. Should the president, Matthew, take a stand on guns once and for all?
Well, the president doesn't have the constitutional authority to do much here. And I feel we really need to clear the air here. The term automatic weapon was used, and a lot of terms were thrown around. Quite respectfully, there has not been a single automatic weapon used in a significant crime since the passage of the National Firearms Act. It is not easy to go out and get an automatic weapon. An automatic weapon costs about $10,000 minimum to get your hands on. What we're talking about here are semi-automatic weapons. And I think it is really disingenuous and dishonest to attempt to frame this in terms of high-capacity magazines or in terms of assault weapons or what have you, when in reality, there is no weapon that is good to shoot people with. This isn't about AR-15s. This isn't about anything like that. If you want to be honest, frame the question in terms of guns, period. Don't frame it in terms of hunting, because weapons that are good for hunting, cartridges that are good for hunting, I thank God, are not used against people more often because they have much greater ballistic capability to tear human beings apart.
Yeah, but
we
Matthew,
have to be honest here. This is nothing to do with machine guns, nothing to do with assault rifles. This is just guns.
But Matthew, I mean, it's safe to say that in many of these mass shootings, if not all of them, I mean, the gunmen are using high-powered rifles. They're using high-capacity guns, high-capacity
That's exactly right.
Attachments.
That's not true. That's not
Columbine,
true. The Parkland shooting was committed with 10-round mag. Columbine happened during the assault weapons ban with assault weapon ban compliant magazines. Parkland happened with 10-round magazines. He was
Here's my
changing
point.
magazines quickly. And I wrote a study for the Cato Institute about this, where the 10-round magazines, there would have been no difference if he had larger magazines at all. The effective rate of fire would have changed by like 5%. There would have been no significant difference.
Terry, go ahead.
Here's the point. Whether it's an automatic weapon or a semi-automatic weapon, these are the weapons that have been used, these assault weapons have been used at all of the major mass shootings. That's Columbine, whether it's Parkland, whether it's Orlando, whether it's Pittsburgh. And banning those types of weapons will absolutely make a difference. And to answer your question about President Trump, what he has claimed that he will do is increase background checks, and he has stated that he would arm teachers, which is one of the worst ideas I think you could possibly implement, because it would only continue to cause more injuries and friendly fire, so to speak.
Right.
So I think that his initiatives would make it even worse, make it a terrible situation.
Clearly, no real clear answers here. Both sides have very good points on this issue. We'll see how it shakes out, and your heart just bleeds for that woman who lost her son.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Terry and Matthew, thanks for joining us here on I-24 News.